All right, guys, good morning. I'll tell you what, sorry guys, but everything went haywire this morning. Absolutely everything went nuts, including the film nominations at SAG. Everything bad happened that could happen. It's one of those days. Okay, so first of all, I was up on time to see the nominations and everything, but the SAG online streaming page absolutely did not work. I had multiple pages open. Nothing started on time. So I was at first I was thinking, "Uh-oh, something's wrong here with my computer." So I was like, I got to change that. So I, restarted everything, tried that again, but it just would not play for me. I don't know if it was just me or the internet or if it was them themselves, but I actually one of them was on YouTube and there was a chat room there and everybody else said they had problems too. So that was the first screw up. So then I realized, wait, they're on TV. So by the time I got the TV turned on, got it on the right station and everything, they were over halfway through the film nominees. So I'm like, well, there goes the whole thing. So I shut everything because I had a video going at the same time. So I'm like, well, that screws everything over. So I shut that off and I said, okay, I'll just do it right after the nominations are over. So I started it. And for whatever reason, the frickin' video would not save to the computer. Which absolutely pissed me off, and I think I've got it working now, but, so yeah, everything that could go wrong went wrong this morning, both in terms of my predictions, in some cases, and, also technologically, we just, maybe we've got high winds here today, maybe that, threw off the Wi-Fi or something, but, yeah, I've seen a lot of reports here this morning, or actually before this morning, late last night, of people saying that SAG is going to really solidify the Best Picture race and some of the acting races here today. Maybe it did on a couple cases. On other ones, it completely shook up the race, including the Best Picture race at this rate, which, yeah, we talk about it all the time. But your film ensemble nominees, one of those five is going to go on to win Best Picture since '95, since this thing started, with the exception of Braveheart. That's the only one. So since '96, technically. So, okay. Let me just go ahead and start with the nominees in each category. Let's start with Film Ensemble just to get some of the more shocking stuff out of the way first. So, the nominees there are The Big Sick, Get Out, Lady Bird, Mudbound, and Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. Okay. Okay, should we, where do we want to start here? We could start literally anywhere, and, okay, I don't know where. Let's start with the inclusions here. Okay. So The Big Sick, let's just go down the list here. The Big Sick, this is a huge bounce back. Absolutely huge bounce back from getting 0 nominations at the Globes. This, yeah, absolutely helps it. And I'm not saying the film automatically was going to get nothing at the Oscars because the Globes stiffed it, but I'll tell you what, that film could have realistically been nominated in 4 categories at the Globes, and it ended up with nothing. Here it ends up with 2 nominations, including this one for Film Ensemble. So that really, really puts it back into the spotlight. Plus, it made the AFI list and a couple other of the awards here and there. It's been nominated for the top categories. So does this mean I think it automatically gets in for Best Picture? No. Even though there's a lot of other films that could have been nominated in this category that were not here today, I think the competition's too strong at this point for that one. Okay, Get Out. All right, folks. All right, this has convinced me. Yep, it's a Best Picture nominee. It is a Best Picture nominee at this rate, for sure. All right, so, yep, I was just wrong about this all season. Okay, so that's all right. I'm willing to admit defeat at this rate because, yeah, if it can get in over some of the other films here, for sure, it's got its love, it's got its support, it has everything it needs at this rate. Okay, Lady Bird. I don't know. I said in my video yesterday, I said early on I had this film in, and I pulled it out in favor of something like Mudbound and a few of the other ones there. So, so yeah, that one, I should have kept it in. But, yeah, it definitely makes sense, and it is, again, yeah, locked for one of those Best Picture slots. Mudbound getting in. Yeah, I talked about this one. Yeah, it's the Netflix thing helps it. It being a very diverse cast really helps it. So that one I had in. That was no surprise. And then Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. Yeah, this one ended up getting more nominations than any other film here today with 4. We'll get to a couple of them in a minute here. But yeah, this one, like I said, I've already got it out front for Best Picture right now. And this, I mean, getting in for Martin McDonagh for director at the Globes really, really shows everybody, yeah, if you're not betting on this film yet for even a nomination for Best Picture, what are you doing? I mean, this, and yeah, I would not be surprised if we now see a lot of the experts really change tasks here and really go from The Post or from Dunkirk or a few of the other ones here to Three Billboards or Lady Bird or Get Out. I think those are the three right now that those are the three that's gonna. One of those three is gonna walk away with Best Picture if everything holds true and all the stats from the last 20+ years hold true. All right, so yeah, let's talk about those exclusions then. Where's The Post? Where is The Post? The film that has the biggest ensemble of the year with Tom Hanks and Meryl Streep, directed by Steven Spielberg. It is nowhere. Nowhere here today. 0 nominations. Not even for Streep. Not even for Hanks in the individual acting categories. And no film ensemble here. I mean, IndieWire, Variety Fair, Gold Derby, everybody said it is going to win this category. And it is not even nominated. I mean, wow. The only explanation I have is it was kind of late to the party. Only started screening a little under a month ago, which I thought was enough time. Way enough time. But I don't know. Either the voting branch, which is a lot of actors in Hollywood, both on the TV and the film side, either they didn't go for it, maybe they were angry they weren't in the film. I mean, that's a possibility. It seriously is. But either that or they just had their nominees already decided and it didn't influence them enough to kick out all of the other nominees who got in. That's a possibility. Second of all, where is The Shape of Water? Shape of Water for Film Ensemble. I mean, it got 2 other nominations, so it definitely had its fans. It's not like they absolutely hated it. Plus, I had it getting into 4 slots yesterday in the predictions. I had it leading the nominations with Ensemble, Supporting Actor, Supporting Actress, and Actress, and it got 2 of them. But still, no Film Ensemble for that one. It does still lead at the Globes. It leads at Critics' Choice, so I think it's not like this all of a sudden dashes its hopes and dreams for being a huge player at the Oscars. And I definitely do think it still comes down to Del Toro or Christopher Nolan for Best Director at this rate. Unless we see somebody else get on a train and win DGA and take up all the other awards here. Like Martin McDonagh, I think, is the only one right now, or Spielberg. But even still, as I say, you got to be at least nominated here if you're going to win Best Picture. So with Shape of Water not nominated here, that one's done. I think that one's done for Best Picture. And third of all, another film that I had nominated here in my predictions that did not get in, and this one hurts the film the most. Absolutely hurts it and really, really, really hurt. I mean, just probably cripples a lot of its big Oscar buzz. Call Me By Your Name. Where is Call Me By Your Name? Okay, first of all, it got in for Timothée Chalamet, but he is the only nominee for the film this morning. In the supporting actor race, no Armie Hammer, no Michael Stuhlbarg. And the same thing happened with Spotlight a couple years ago. So don't worry, it doesn't mean it's not getting in for picture at the Oscars or anything. But those 2 canceled out that year, I think. So maybe the same thing happened this year. But at the same time, in the supporting actor race, we'll get to that one in a minute, but we did have 2 nominees from the same film there. So yeah. Well, let's see. When we get to that one, I'll have more to say about it. But man, Call Me By Your Name. I haven't seen the film yet, but the previews, everything looks like it's one of the best films of the year for sure, or at least belongs in the conversation. But it is having a hell of a time here. 3 nominations at the Globes. And it missed out on director and writing there for screenplay. And now it misses out for the top category here today, and it does not get any love in the supporting actor category. Man. Despite winning the Gotham Award a couple weeks ago and being on AFI's list and National Board Review list, and I think it's won a couple other critics' prizes here and there for a few other awards, but Timothée Chalamet is actually coming on really strong in a lot of those critic awards for Best Actor. So yeah, we'll see. I think he's definitely a lock at this rate, but he might even, if things keep going the way they do, He might even trounce Gary Oldman, whatever word I'm thinking of. He might pounce over Gary Oldman to take the Oscar. It's a possibility. I mean, it's not typically the type of performance or the age range that they go for Best Actor, but hey, we've seen Stranger Things win. Um, but yeah, I mean, my God, that one really, I think that really dashes a lot of the support for Call Me by Your Name, especially somebody like me who, a few months ago was saying that was going to win Best Picture. Now, I'm glad I'm on the Three Billboards train, because that one came out the strongest this morning, absolutely the strongest. And Big Sick definitely bounced back after that Golden Globes snub there. Plus, Get Out getting in here, I think, solidifies that it is going to be a Best Picture nominee. Which, somebody like me who's missed it the whole season now, okay, it's time. It's time to put it in. Okay, so also no nomination here for Dunkirk, which I saw coming. No surprise there. Definitely, again, as I was saying yesterday, I think this is when everybody jumps off the Dunkirk boat. I mean, you have to be nominated here to win Best Picture unless they break all the records this year, which last year it looked like that was going to be the case with La La Land missing out, and everybody ignored the tea leaf there that this is what happens, and we all got it wrong. Almost all of us. A few people did predict Moonlight, but they were very smart. they knew what was coming. But yeah, I do not see this year being the year that statistic goes away. Anyway, so was there anything else that I was kind of surprised did not get in here? Not really. I think those were a few of them that I mentioned there. Obviously, I threw out a few like downsizing and a couple of the other ones as oddball possibilities and oddball picks. But yeah, I didn't really have a lot of stock in them. So, okay. All right, moving on to Best Actor. We already mentioned Timothée Chalamet is nominated there. James Franco, Daniel Kaluuya, Gary Oldman, and Denzel Washington. So this one, obviously, if the post just wasn't for them, that explains why Tom Hanks is not nominated here. And then there's no Daniel Day-Lewis either. So that might be another one, because Phantom Thread is another one that kind of was late to the party there. Might be another case where that one they already had their 5 picked out, and that's what happened. But I do see, I mean, obviously Gary Oldman, and obviously Timothée Chalamet, and now I think if you were not betting on Franco before, I think this solidifies him. I'll tell you what, Daniel Kaluuya, and by the way, Chris Tapley on Twitter has been tweeting like 5 or 6 times a week. We're sleeping on Daniel Kaluuya, or we're discounting him. Okay, all right, Chris Tapley was right on the money on this one for sure. Yeah, Kaluuya, I think now looks stronger than he has ever looked before in the Best Actor race. The film, I think, really looks strong now. And we mentioned a few posts ago, but I was looking through, and I had put in Get Out for Best Picture for like a day, and then I took it out. But for your Best Picture nominees, you want to have 3 awards or more that you're nominated for. I mean, that just looks good. I mean, it's very rare nowadays. Like Selma was an anomaly that only got song and picture. But the days of like the Oxbow incident and Grand Hotel getting nominated for Best Picture and then nothing else, in the case of Grand Hotel it won, but that was like the 5th Academy Award, so it was really early. Those days are gone. I mean, you need to have at least, or in the case of Selma, 2 nominees. But they really want you having 3 or more, because like Brooklyn did that, and I think was there one last year that also had 3? Maybe I'm just forgetting it right now. But yeah, they want you to have multiple nominations there. So now Get Out. Okay, it's looking strong for picture now. Best Actor is probably going to happen now. You've got original screenplay, which I think looks strong right now. So that's 3. So I think that's good on that level. But maybe even it can get to 4 with like film editing or something like that. I don't know about Jordan Peele. I mean, that director race is still really crowded. So I mean that it could be a miracle. Buzzer beater kind of nomination. Comes in at the last minute. But yeah, and if that's the case for sure, then maybe we're looking at a really unprecedented Best Picture and winner in Get Out. But I don't know. I don't see that yet. I don't see that happening yet. Maybe if he gets in at BAFTA, maybe that'll change my opinion. Or if he gets in at DGA, that would be huge. That would be absolutely huge. But yeah. So now I think the 5 I'm going to go with going on at the Oscars is going to be Chalamet, Franco, Kaluuya, Oldman, and Daniel Day-Lewis. Okay. Move on now to Best Actress. This one, I didn't do way too bad on this one. Okay, so the nominees are Judi Dench for Victoria and Abdul. We've got Sally Hawkins for Shape of Water, Frances McDormand for Three Billboards, Margot Robbie for I, Tonya, and Saoirse Ronan for Lady Bird. So no Streep. No Streep here. And again, if they just didn't see the post in time or had already decided we really love Judi Dench and they weren't impressed enough by Streep, then okay. And I know some people even lately have been saying Streep has a decent shot to win the whole thing at the Oscars too. You need a SAG nomination. I mean, you need a SAG nomination if you're going to win the Oscar, for crying out loud. And I think really when we look back at it, Marcia Gay Harden might be the last one to win an Oscar without a SAG nomination. At least to my memory. But it's been a long time. And plus, The Post not getting any nominations here, even though it did overperform at the Globes. Man, that one really hurts it, I think. Anyway, so yeah, I think Hawkins is safe. McDormand is safe. Ronan is really safe for the Oscars and stuff. Streep, you would have to say, has one of those slots. So now I think BAFTA is going to be a really big helper here in determining that fifth slot, because I think Judi Dench, being a British legend, I think she has more nominations than any other actress in BAFTA history. Well, maybe Streep has a close number too, but I think Judi Dench has been nominated more than any other actress at BAFTA. I'll have to double check that, but I think she's definitely in the upper echelons for sure. If she, I think she's going to get in for BAFTA for Victoria and Abdul playing Queen Victoria. Second time she's actually played it. I'll tell you what, if she misses at BAFTA for whatever reason, then I think she's done. But at the moment here, I think Margot Robbie then becomes the most expendable one. If at the Oscars they go for Streep and Dench, I think the one who misses then is Margot Robbie, and the other three get in. But still, I, Tonya did do well at the Globes, getting picture, actress, and a supporting actress. So and plus, we'll get to it later, but Allison Janney is here as well today too. So I, Tonya has its love and has its supporters. So I don't know. We'll have to see here. But yeah, I think BAFTA is going to be a very big help in determining where we go from here for Best Actress. Okay, supporting actor nominees. You have Steve Carell for Battle of the Sexes. Real surprise. Willem Dafoe for The Florida Project. Woody Harrelson for Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. Richard Jenkins for The Shape of Water. And Sam Rockwell for Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. Okay, yeah, this category always fucks me over at SAG. I mean, the year of like Jacob Tremblay and Christian Bale getting in, and who was the other nominee that year? I forget who it was, but it was like that year. Actually, yeah, I'm just more curious here. I need to pull up who was nominated that, because that year Michael Shannon was one of them too. Yeah, but that one I think only one or two of the nominees at SAG got in at the Oscars that year. So I think it was actually Christian Bale and Mark Rylance, because then you also had Idris Elba in there too. So yeah, this category is always the weird one at SAG. That's why I went with somebody like Jason Mitchell yesterday, who I thought would get in, and Armie Hammer too. And those are the two I missed. But yeah, Steve Carell getting in. Now, he campaigned for lead, I think, everywhere else, including the Globes for Battle of the Sexes. I don't know why. He is a supporting actor in the movie. He absolutely is. And I'm glad that SAG got that one right, because he is. He's not in the movie the whole way through. He's only in it in chunks through the movie. And yeah, no doubt he does a really good job, and he really captures a lot of the persona of Bobby Riggs. And maybe, for argument's sake, maybe does make him a little too likable, despite, being a complete pig. Still, it's Steve Carell. He's the most likable, one of the more likable guys in Hollywood for sure. But anyway, so I'm glad he got nominated, and I'm glad he got nominated in the right category. But I don't see him getting a nomination at BAFTA. I don't really see the movie getting anything at the Oscars at this rate. It just completely collapsed at the box office. There's no Emma Stone here today in Best Actress either. I would say if Emma Stone had gotten in, then okay, then maybe we do see an uptick here, and all of a sudden Battle of the Sexes is back in the game. But or back in the match if you're going by tennis terms. But it goes from Love 40 to 40 Love or something, whatever the terms would be. So yeah, so he's in there. Yeah, obviously Willem Dafoe, obviously Richard Jenkins, obviously Sam Rockwell. So I think I was a little shaky actually on Jenkins getting in, but I think now with SAG, Critics' Choice, and Globe, I think he's safe. And Rockwell, I think, is safe. Now, I think Woody Harrelson. Now, this is one, when I was first watching the movie Three Billboards, I just saw it the other day, and it's the best film I've seen all year. At first, I was thinking, because Woody Harrelson, his real strong points are in the first act of the movie. And at first, I was thinking, I'm like, obviously, Rockwell is a tremendous character actor. He's been great for pretty much since day one when he came on the scene. And at the end of the day, yeah, he is the more significant character here in Three Billboards between the two of them, and he's on screen longer. But he, he plays a really, really despicable character for the first 2/3 of the movie, where he's a racist bigot, and he is a really unclean cop who really goes outside the law every opportunity he can just to say, just to do what he feels like he needs to do when he doesn't need to do it. So I was thinking at first, and Woody Harrelson is like the really sympathetic sheriff character who actually tries to help Frances McDormand's character in the movie. So it's like, yeah, I mean, obviously you want to, you're kind of almost rooting for him and Frances McDormand to really crack the case and get everything taken care of. So at first I was thinking, this kind of reminds me, and in the theater I was thinking this up until the last act, but I was thinking, This is kind of like Nocturnal Animals last year, where Sam Rockwell gets in everywhere, kind of like, excuse me, like Aaron Taylor Johnson did for Nocturnal Animals, playing the villain, and then they swapped at the Oscars, and all of a sudden it's Michael Shannon who gets in as the more sympathetic cop. And I was thinking at first, I'm like, that could happen with Woody Harrelson this year. I'm looking up the screen, I'm like, I think we're reading it wrong. I think Woody Harrelson gets in and not Sam Rockwell. But then the third act happens, and I know the movie's still playing now, so I won't spoil exactly what happens, but yeah, I think Rockwell is easily the better bet between the two of them. But I'll tell you what, if Harrelson can get in today over Armie Hammer, over Michael Stuhlbarg, he's definitely one that we should be considering more, I think. And he definitely does a good job in the movie, for sure. And definitely, I think, for the amount of screen time he has, if Mahershala frickin' Ali can win last year for Moonlight, with the amount of screen time he had, even though, yes, he is a major significant player, he does a great job in the movie, too, Woody Harrelson should not have a problem at least getting nominated. I don't see, and I really get really pissed at the people who say that say Harrelson cannot get nominated because of the screen time. It's like, well, look at fucking Mahershala Ali from last year. He had, like, less than half an hour of screen time in Moonlight, and he still won the damn thing. I mean, yeah, so, I mean, obviously, the competition year to year definitely brings in an impact there. But it's just the limited screen time. I think nowadays it can really help you still too. I mean, yeah. So, anyways, just a little pet peeve I had with a couple people online, but you always find those people. So, yeah. So as far as who did not get in, yeah, Stuhlbarg did not get in at the Globes. I'm starting to think he's going to miss at the Oscars too. Definitely. I mean, Stuhlbarg, he needed to get something today, and he actually has nothing today. Because both his ensemble nominations for Shape of Water and Call Me By Your Name are done. He did not get an individual nomination for either film. And The Post, he's also in The Post, and he did not get any nominations from The Post either. So, yeah, if he cannot get any love whatsoever from SAG, then I think that dashes his Oscar chances for sure. So, that's the question. Who do we put into his slot then? I have already put Richard Jenkins in, so he's in there. Willem Dafoe's in there. Sam Rockwell's in there, and I still have Armie Hammer in there. I think maybe they just canceled each other out for one of those slots here today. So that leaves a slot open. So do we go with Steve Carell? Do we go with Woody Harrelson? Do we go with Christopher Plummer, who got in at the Globes? Do we go with even Ray Romano? I thought had a chance for a while now, but now he's gotten absolutely nothing. So maybe I think he's done too. Yeah, that's a big question. We'll have to see here. Let's see what BAFTA does, because by that time at BAFTA, as far as I know, All the Money in the World will qualify there as far as it getting released in time. So I think that's the problem here today with why Chris Plummer is not in here today, because they didn't get it in time. So and I was not expecting it to get anything. So yeah. So we'll see if All the Money in the World continues after yesterday or Monday. I mean, from the Globes, getting 3 nominees. But again, as I kind of mentioned yesterday, maybe we can explain it all away from the politics part of it. Anyway, so yeah, really we know for sure Willem Dafoe, we know for sure Richard Jenkins, we know Sam Rockwell. So yeah, let's see what happens with the other 2 slots there. Okay, so moving on now to supporting actress. Again, I got a 4 out of 5 on this one, so this one wasn't too bad. But we had Mary J. Blige get in for Mudbound, Hong Chow for Downsizing, Holly Hunter for The Big Sick, Allison Janney for I, Tonya, and Laurie Metcalf for Lady Bird. Okay, yeah. I'm just first of all, for the inclusions, Hong Chow. Okay, she got into the Globe. She's in a Critics' Choice. She's in at SAG, and it might be the only nomination Downsizing gets. I'm putting her in at the Oscars at this rate too. We'll see how she does at BAFTA, but I can easily see, because Mudbound is the Netflix film, and I'm still thinking the Oscars are still not over that bias of the Netflix thing. So I think Mary J. Blige gets pulled out from the Oscars, causing a lot of grief online, I'm sure. But and I haven't seen the film yet, so I don't know. She's probably, obviously if she's getting nominated, she's probably worth a nomination for sure. So yeah, but I do plan to see, because it is on Netflix. I should watch that very shortly here. But yeah, I think she gets pulled out in favor of Octavia Spencer, who missed here today. I think that could be your 5. That could be your lineup for supporting actress. And I think that would be the 5, with the exception of Holly Hunter at the Globes, too. And I think Holly Hunter, I mean, if she had missed here today, that would have been big. That would have really hurt. And obviously, I think by that point, The Big Sick would also have been out for Film Ensemble. But yeah, Janney and Metcalf we knew, and Holly Hunter now, I think, solidifies that slot. I think Hong Chow gets one of those slots now. So now it's just Octavia Spencer, who I think, because Shape of Water, I think will do significantly better at the Oscars than it did here today at SAG. I think that will fill up that slot for Mary J. Blige. Okay, so that's all that. Yeah, so like I said, if the stats stay true as they have for the last 26 years, or not 26, sorry, for the last 21 years since 96, math is math, then one of your Best Picture winners is here in this Film Ensemble category. Your Best Picture winner is here in this Film Ensemble category. So that means it's coming down to these 5. And I definitely, like I said, I think Mudbound, that's getting pulled. The Big Sick, I see it getting in for Holly Hunter. Screenplay is a possibility, but you've got Get Out, you've got The Post, you got Shape of Water, you got Lady Bird, and you've got 3 Billboards in there. That I think those are your 5. I mean, it's a really, really competitive year this year. So, yeah, I mean, there's a chance it does bump one of those, but I don't see it happening right now. And I don't think director's happening. I don't think Kumail Nanjiani gets one of those slots for Best Actor. And I don't see any of the supporting actor or lead actress love happening for Zoe Kazan or for Ray Romano. So, it could end up with one of those wild slots for Best Picture if they do go to 9 or 10 nominees, but I wouldn't bet on it. And then, so that leaves it to 3 Billboards, Lady Bird, and Get Out. Now, between the 3, Get Out has, just in my opinion, obviously there's some people that were already betting on it getting a couple nominations here today, but this, to me, shows more strength than it has ever. I mean, more than the Globes. I mean, the comedy race, since they do split it between comedy and drama at the Globes, helped Get Out significantly. If they had voted for it in drama, I think that would have dashed its chances altogether. And we saw it didn't even get into screenplay for the Globes there. So, yeah, let's see about that. So I think that one, like I said, I have it in for Best Picture now, so we'll see where it goes. And now that leaves it down, really, I think it's going to come down to Lady Bird and 3 Billboards. Even though, yeah, Get Out definitely shows enough strength now, I think, to get in for Best Picture. I don't see it winning at the moment. It would have to get in for, like, Jordan Peele and, well, obviously, I have Kaluuya getting in now, so he has to get in. And I think it has to get, like, a film editing or something like that. Because if you get, really, those are the categories you need. You need director, you need picture. Well, most of the time you need director. Obviously, Ben Affleck and for Argo and Driving Miss Daisy would beg to differ, but otherwise, you need director, obviously you need picture, you need at least one acting nominee, you need screenplay, and you need film editing. Really, those are the ones who are going to determine who wins Best Picture. And I see 3 Billboards getting into all those categories. And I even see maybe up to 3 acting nominations for 3 Billboards. We'll see if Woody Harrelson continues here. Definitely 2 with Frances McDormand, I think Sam Rockwell. And then director, I'll tell you what, like I said, after McDonough got in for director yesterday at Monday, for the Globes, that was impressive. That was big. That really showed that the film does have support. So I see that one, and since it is the lead nominee here today with 4 nominations total, I think this turns the Best Picture race on its head. Now, like I said, a lot of people before today were still betting on Dunkirk, still betting on The Post. There's still some Lady Bird love out there, too. And I think Lady Bird definitely gets the jump on those. But I think 3 Billboards now conceivably has a light that will get it to a Best Picture win on March 3rd or March 4th, whatever day the Oscars are. Conceivably at this rate. Now, obviously, this is December 13th. We've got a long ways to go. And anything and everything could happen between now and then. So we'll see. But, yeah, definitely some major shakeups here, especially in that category there with The Post, Shape of Water, and Call Me By Your Name missing. And I said 2 of them were absolute locks yesterday, and 2 of the absolute locks failed to get in. That is incredible. Wow, okay. Yeah, that definitely, I think, helps us in Best Actor. If, yeah, Hanks, he's gotten into, he got into Critics' Choice, he got in at the Globes. Missing SAG is big. We'll see what happens at BAFTA. I don't know how well The Post is going to go over there, but I would imagine it still gets a lot of nominations still. We'll see how Denzel has landed. He didn't get a nomination at Critics' Choice, but he did get one at Globes and now SAG. Knocking out Hanks, knocking out Day-Lewis, but again, maybe just the fact of those coming in too late might have been the only reason they didn't get in. So yeah, we'll see. Yeah, definitely Best Actress. Like I said, it's going to depend on what BAFTA does. If they don't go with Judi Dench, then it's game over for her, and then I think it's Streep and the other 4, and that would solidify that. Supporting Actor is going to be really tough for the next couple weeks. Like I said, we'll have to wait and see what BAFTA does on that one. If Chris Plummer continues to get a couple more nominations, I think he might solidify a slot. And we'll see how Woody Harrelson does. He's a character. He's been really terrific here in the past couple of years. With like last year, Edge of 17, he was really good in. War for the Planet of the Apes earlier this year. Even the LBJ movie that nobody saw, I thought he did a really good job actually, impersonating him. So yeah, I mean he's been doing a lot of stuff, and he's never really given a bad performance here in the last couple of years. So there's a possibility he gets in, and Sam Rockwell too. But still, you got Armie Hammer in there too to think about. So yeah, we'll see. And then, yeah, supporting actors, like I said, I think you pull out Mary J. Blige at the Oscars, put in Octavia Spencer, and that's going to be your 5. So, yeah, so this does, I think it helps a little bit. I mean, obviously there could be some deceptions here. Maybe Kaluuya ends up missing at the Oscars, but I don't know. There's a lot going on here. And anyway, so, yeah, I will do an early BAFTA predictions video here in the next week or so. I need to give out some more thoughts and opinions there as far as what I think will or could be nominated. Let's see. Also, we've got, I'll do an update for the Oscar nominees because I think there will be some changes I have to make now. So, yeah, we'll see where we go from here. All right. So, thanks for checking this out. And, again, sorry, everything had to go wrong today. But, yep, at least I'm still here. I'm still standing. So, all right.